running like you say, somebody that's the best man for the job, I can't do it. That's why people got to remember so that we can know who these people are. You got to know who these people are so we can't be shocked when certain decisions are made. Because you have to follow their lifetime of politics, statements, and things that they do and what they didn't do. Then you'll get a better understanding of who they are. But based on the grapevine, and the Gather News Network have it that Loretta Butler Turner will be running down in Kalani. There's just speculation reports. There's no guarantee. She hasn't said that based on I know. I hasn't heard them made no statement to that effect. But the Gather News haven't speculated that she'll be running out in Kalani against the former Prime Minister, right on with Hubert, Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. But you know, some persons in the breakfast crew saying that we might have a surprise during the nomination in the Free National Movement. There might be a hidden runner for leader of the Free National Movement, which I doubt highly, 99% no. But they, people, have their view, and they saying that the dark horse in the race could be. Good evening, Mr. Johnson. What say you in reference to what's happening in the political world in this country? Things are good, and there have been speculations that there are plenty rumbling in your party.
There's always been the mindset that there was plenty rumblings. And we have to also be mindful that just because you hear the tone, the rumblings mean that something is not well within the party. But even that is good for the democratic process.
Yes, sir.
That in itself is
Yes,
good
sir.
for the democratic process. And we've got to be also mindful, it's still early yet. In the game, to the next election, it's still relatively early. So some of the things you might be hearing right now might just be, I won't say just be done, but has to be done for the stability going forward. One of the worst things that can be perceived is that there is no kind of stability within the political organization. But you said something earlier too that was very, very, very profound. And you talked about an individual who had a brother that was running somewhere else. And as good as that sounds, because that's blood, there are times when blood does not always necessarily means best for the times at hand. There are times when we have to be able to, for the sake of the country, rise above that. Just as we should be able to rise above loyalty to any particular leader or a party and put the country first. If we can truly rise above some of those elements and put the country first, we have a good chance of having a better country.
I'd say this, that I hear you, but boy, I, for one, maybe because I grew up on the island, and you don't choose your family, you end up with the family that you end up with.
You're absolutely right.
Well,
I can choose my friends.
Right,
I can even choose my spouse.
right,
I can even choose the church I go to.
right,
I can't choose my family.
right.
But
So
that does not always necessarily suggest, because you're my family, you is the best thing politically for me.
But I didn't say that for that. I said that because I will withdraw myself from speaking at a political event, right, where my brother is an opponent or opposing, and I gotta say the next man is the best man on the job. That ain't happen. I rather just don't speak.
Well,
But political pressure in the Free National Movement will cause you to do that.
well, if you have the nerve, I don't want to say the term I really want to say, if you have the nerve to do that, it speaks volumes for you. Anyone who does that. And I could love my brother to that or my sister to that, but if my brother or sister is not the best man or woman, I have to put the country first. Being patriotic as I am, I'll put the country first. Not because you're my brother means that it's absolutely that I should support you if you're not the best person for the job. And that's what has been happening so long in this country, and that's why we find ourselves in the situation we're in today, especially with places like Bahamas, Batelco, BC, as an example. Because we don't put the country first, we try to go about this in a way that it's all about maybe how I feel and nothing to do with how best this institution should be here to save the country and put the country first.
2 questions tonight, because I got a call today from a friend of mine, and he asked me, Marlon, what type of work does the leader of the opposition do? What is his profession? And I was so shocked, because I never really thought of it. And I couldn't answer him. I couldn't answer what was his profession, what he does. I know he do comedian work by the Dundas, but I couldn't answer what his professional career is. And that catch me off guard. What does he do? The leader of the official majesty opposition. And I couldn't answer. And the next question is, who would you think the PLP would prefer to be at the helm of the Free National Movement when the bell rings? There are 2 questions tonight. I'd like to get a feedback from our listening audience, 326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477, 322-5477. Who do you think that the Free National Movement, that the PLP would prefer to be the challenger when the bell rings and leader of the FNM, Free National Movement?
In its purest sense, I would think that trying to say who the PLP wants.
No, they want who they
trying
prefer.
to say who they want or prefer. It's not as relevant. No, and you're laughing.
No, I gotta laugh about you said like who the PLP want, like the PLP they don't have a choice.
But that's the question you asked.
Yeah, but I asked that because some places ask me.
Precisely. So you asked the question. So that is to suggest there is a choice. That is to suggest.
Go ahead. Let me take this call then. Primetime, independent thinker. Hello. Primetime, independent thinker.
Independent thinker, what's happening?
You're live. Go ahead.
Right. That's only the gentleman that you have on there. Now he sounds like he's working pen hard.
Well, no. Don't put none on him yet. He's a great Bahamian. He's a Johnson. He's from High Rock. Go ahead.
Hey, young man.
I've just been down to professional comedy, but listen to me.
Wait, listen to me 1 minute, young man.
Hold on.
Listen to me. I thank you for your views on how you feel, what you think, or how you view me. And I appreciate that. There's nothing wrong. All my life I wanted to be a comedian. All my life I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Hold on, caller man. Hold on. Let me respond to you.
All my life I wanted to be a stand-up comedian.
Yeah.
What?
You're doing a good job now.
Yes, you hear what I say? I'm saying, look here, I glad you recognize talent.
Yeah.
I glad you look here. Hey, and that's an attribute you have, and I can recognize that. But I also would say this to you, and not just you, but the Bahamas in general. As I'm sitting in this chair, first of all, as a Bahamian.
Mm-hmm.
Secondly, as a patriotic Bahamian. Thirdly, it doesn't matter who's in the party that I feel may not be up to the mark, I won't support.
Yeah, but that's all right.
No. As a patriot, because I am putting country before an individual.
Yeah, but if you choose somebody, that's your right to choose.
Did you hear what I say? I didn't say I would choose someone. I say if I have to choose, it'll be country over an individual.
Okay, but let me have something to say, because you can be on for an hour and a half. I only got a couple of minutes, then cut me off.
Go ahead.
I am saying, if Mr. Clinton wins on the 1st of June, the F&M get beat with it. If Minutes wins on the 1st of June, the F&M get beat with them. They down as they do, they down as they do. It doesn't make a difference.
So,
this, whether you believe it or not, this is going to be too straight for Mr. Brave Davis. If you're mad, stay mad. Believe it.
No.
so hold on. So which one give the FM a better fighting chance?
Well, I'd rather them send Minutes so they could retire Minutes or what. I don't want them to discourage Clinton.
You know what the discouragement been
Clinton
that?
don't get beat in West End and he don't shake it.
Yeah, but listen, I'll tell you this.
Election,
This will be the last standing of both of them if they don't win.
yeah.
Whoever,
I rather
whenever they lose, if they lose their seat,
officially.
if they lose the nomination, that's the downward spiral, and if they lose their seat, that's it. They finish in politics. Politics will change in this country. This is the last official race that this election coming, where people will be voting on the last set of feelings. And people tired of that, man. People need people who prepare to carry this country forward.
I hear the bishop from Western and Bimini talking and trying to bring Minutes down. He can't even win a seat. He
Yeah,
can't even be. He ain't got no shit. I gotta stay quiet this one.
Yeah, but he know people will attack him because
Tell you something.
he was the nominee for West End and Bimini by the leader of the opposition. So he had to support who's.
They have an ex-fella who was talking with the PLP and the FNM. It's one side of the same coin. Now he came up and down. The only thing that's from him now is he didn't mini straight. He up and down on the radio now campaigning for Pentad. This C. Allen Johnson fella. He one time ago he couldn't sign the PLP and the FNM. Now I don't know if Pentad them promised him. But let me tell you something.
C. Allen Johnson is very capable of defending himself.
If Minutes win, the FNM is not together. They're fighting amongst themselves in public.
But after convention, who knows that after convention they may band together for the common cause?
No, sir.
You think it happen?
No.
But nobody's mentioning the third faction with Dr. Dwayne Sands and the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingham.
Now, Dr. Dwayne Sands now decides he wants to run back for chairman again, and he's going to sound like he's supporting Pentad. But I can tell you, Dr. Dwayne Sands did get a rule of weakness from that Johnson man.
Whoa! You gotta be Naomi. Listen, I ain't no betting fella, but boy, Sebastian put some of them thing up. I show you make plenty money. Because if you remember, it's the same fella who won his closest family member going on the radio and said that she wasn't with Dr. Sands, she ain't working for her own brother.
Yeah, but that's all right.
She wasn't with the best man with a job.
Don't forget that them Johnson people this week, one election, one for the PLP, one election, one move for the FNM, one election. So they kind of, you ain't sure they all together.
Be careful now, Isaac Johnson.
In closing, my friend. On June, if you see Dr. Minutes wins the leadership of the FNM, not if, when. See, Dr. Minutes is one of what's tomorrow. Dr. Minutes can nominate at least 3 other people. They gain it as a team. See, it's hard to beat a team. Them one people all is spreading out the votes. The people who for Minutes can support Minutes people. You see the deputy leader go and nominate himself. Even he going back with Pentad.
No, he can't. He have to do that because if Minutes win, he will still be. He will be deputy. He still will be. Yeah.
Minutes has a team. Minutes, Rambert Wells, Bannister, and Brian.
Yeah, but I don't think Bannister.
It's hard to be divorced.
No, I don't know, but I'll tell you, I don't think the former minister Bannister or maybe the former minister Mr. Rambert. I don't think they run in the next election.
No, I heard that it's alleged that Marona Farquharson, she is coming in Bamboo Town.
Roanoke Fox,
Raggy. Politically, she got straight up. Raggy, that'd be a cat fight.
Well,
Yeah, cat fight, Babu down, she got me in the back here.
you think so?
She get Raggy down.
Well,
That's the beetle. That, you hear Marshall Barnes say one and done? That'd be a half and done. Trust me.
yeah.
Because the Speaker of the House Assembly brought up, she is a professional lady. But when it's time to get loose, you hear Bishop Lawrence will say loose like a goose. She can get loose like a goose if you fight her like a goose, she can fight like a goose.
Yeah, I think she's doing. No, but not only that. I think she's doing. I think she's doing some great work down there. I think she's doing some great work. I get some reports from her. I get some reports from some of her constituents down in Mamutang, and they're saying that she's doing some good work down there. And so she's one of them who could be one of the first person returning as the standard bearer in her seat down in Bamboo Town. You know, some of the things changed in the last 2 weeks in this country in politics. I see pictures with the former leader of the DNA, taking picture with Menace and crew. I think that's a good move. That's a good move, chess move with Dr. Menace. I think because he has plenty moves he needs to make. Boy, there's plenty people waiting on him. And he had them locked down for 3 years. Boy, listen, he got to come ripe and ready. He makes statements that the Bahamian people, the poor people will get from him next time. So he will do for them next time. How could you make such a statement? I don't care how honest you're being. The Bahamian people want to be the first all the time. There's the people who go to the poll. The rich people don't go to the poll. I never said she never vote, you know. I ain't going to clarify myself. I never said that she don't vote or she never been in the poll. But as long as I've been voting from 1997, I never see Leonard Owesco or the rich people, I never see them to the polls. I'm not saying they don't go. They might just go out west to the Life Key polls or something like that. I never see them, but I'll tell you this. The poor people has put the power in these people's hands. And when you could make a statement that the poor people will take it the next time, and this will be your final time, boy, when you get too straight, that's a lame duck. When you're on your second time, it's a lame duck, Prime Minister. So that could be a trick, in my humble opinion. We'll take our first commercial break, then we come back. The question tonight, who do you think that the PLP prefer to be the challenger of the Free National Movement, the standard bearer of the Free National Movement in the general election when the bell ring? And is the former dark horse gonna pop up and surprise the Bahamian people as for the nomination of the Free National Movement as leader? We're gonna take our first commercial break. When we come back, my special guest, Mr. Nolan Johnson, he's in the chair. We're gonna continue the dialogue after the break.
Cancer. It's a word no one wants to hear. But at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we hear it every day. It's a word we've dedicated our lives to overcoming by changing the way patients are treated. And now we're part of City of Hope, which is one of the nation's top 10 cancer hospitals. Together, we'll combine leading-edge clinical research with precision cancer treatment, so we can be there when you need us most. So when you hear the word cancer, there's another word that should come to mind. Hope. Call now.
With Independent Thinker, my name is Marlon Owen Johnson, aka Independent Thinker. In the chair with me this evening, my good friend, mentor, Sir Nolan Johnson. He's in the chair. We're talking politics, how we see it through his eyes. He don't speak for the FNM, I don't speak for the DNA. So we just speaking what we feel, it's our opinion, what we see, based on limited information, because, you know, both parties, the PLP and the FNM, refuse to put a proper Freedom of Information Act, legalize the Freedom of Information Act. So we are limited to information, and when you're limited, you only go so far in speaking. But if you want to reach us and be a part of the conversation, 326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477, 322-5477. Before the break, I asked a question: who do the Bahamian people think that the PLP, the Progressive Liberal Party, will perform to be at the helm of the Free National Movement when the general election is called and the bell is rung? And so far, one caller said the PLP before the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Dr. Hubert Alexander Minnis. And I asked the question: what is the profession of the leader of the official opposition? He has a police bodyguard, he has the office being paid by the Bahamian people, he's paid handsomely, around $60,000, $70,000 a year as an official leader of opposition. And the persons asked me today, and I couldn't answer. And that usually never happened. I couldn't answer because I never really thought of a question like that. What does he do? I mean, because for the last, 2-3 years now, I mean, he's just, the challenges were just fluff. I mean, maybe he's saving it for last. But the Free National Movement is now coined a date. The 1st of June is the date. And it appears that Dr. Minnis is prepared to take back the helm. I'll tell you this: Dr. Minnis take over the Free National Movement. I think the PLP will have a ball. And I still tell you this, because boy, he made some decisions that boy he have to do plenty explaining if he take over the Free National Movement. I might tell you that. And it appears that the present leader of the Free National Movement doesn't has I don't know what's missing. I mean, he said on my show before, me and him had a candid and a good conversation. He a little short patient. I realized that, because at one point at the end of the show he stand up and challenge me, and I say, no man, everything cool, let's go to break, and after the break we chat. It's good. So he's a little short of patient, but I think he mean well. He's very knowledgeable in agriculture, very knowledgeable. But I just can't understand how is it that he was in the last administration, and Bamsi had already started in the last administration in 2012 to 2017. Millions of dollars were already being spent. And by him having all that knowledge in agriculture, how is it that he didn't grab Bamsi and really produce or surpass the intention that the PLP had planned for Bamsi? 326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477, 322-5477. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Yeah,
You're about to ask the question.
I was going to ask you, do you know what his profession is? You don't know.
Well, let's just put aside what his or her profession would be, what his profession would be at this time.
Go ahead.
There is a presupposition that in order to be a good politician in the Bahamas, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer. There's a presupposition in the Bahamas to be a good politician in the Bahamas, you have to be a doctor or a lawyer. That's a presupposition. You may not have to agree with it. But most of them have made the worst politicians in this country, those doctors and lawyers. Some of the dumbest policies that we've ever seen, heard, experienced in this country came from doctors and lawyers.
But I must agree with you. No, that's a no-brainer. That's a no-brainer.
That's fine. I expect you to disagree.
No, I say disagree.
Oh.
I say I must agree with you.
Oh, okay.
That's a no-brainer.
Okay, I say
I will. When you stop talking, I will list a few of them.
Okay, all right then. We don't need to listen anymore.
No, I can listen.
Okay.
I gotta listen. Maybe we need to know.
Okay, so what we're saying is we have to try to cultivate a new breed of politicians to run this country. That's a huge challenge for us. A tremendous challenge for us. When you look at what seems to be happening in what I call civil Bahamas, few weeks ago, there seemed to be a cadre of young children attacking a police officer. I don't know if it's true, but to see a big fight erupting in a classroom, they're the ones 20 years from now are our leaders. If that's how they're going to display that leadership, with total lack of respect for the law, total lack of respect for the room where they go to every day to be formed and informed. Boy, I don't know what's on the horizon for the Bahamas. I don't know what's on the horizon for the Bahamas. But you know, hopefully I'll be here. You may not be here. And maybe there was the politicians who are there now, who are in power. They may even be too old. Some may even have dementia.
No, some of them might be young.
They might not be here too, right? What I'm saying is, if we can find a formula that's workable, like we can create new leaders in this country. You talk what Celine said about you don't deserve it, but we don't deserve it. Because right now, our challenge is not just so much our present leaders, but who is coming after them. And primarily, for the leaders who are here now, if you look at their movement, their behavior, their antics, etc., they don't even hope there's anyone even emerge with some semblance that, you know what, I think I can be a leader in this country.
Yeah, but you must go back to some of the iconic history of black people. Black people don't like relinquish power.
Oh, well, I know that.
See,
Oh, well, I know that.
you just gotta find them dead in the chair and then lose their finger off whatever they hold it. They ain't gonna let it go, sir. Trust me. See, history supposed to teach people a lesson.
Present for the future.
I'll tell you this. They came up with a shenanigan, bullskate, some bamboozle, run amok plan where they create this leader-elect nonsense with the former member of parliament for Blue Hill, Dion Folks, and the former member of parliament for Mount Moriah, Tommy Alton Turnquest. Playing like they wanted to create new young leaders. Nonsense, man. Because if you chew in trying to create new leaders for the Bahamas, you let them carry the party into the general election. Let them take the helm, they were cabinet ministers. Let them take the helm as leader and deputy leader, and let them take on. But black people have a history of failing to give up leadership. Just gotta take it behind when they can't stop you. And that's history of all this. You see Mugabe them, you go back. The man who went to jail for 21 years in Africa, Nelson Mandela. He ruled for what, 2 terms, and then he stepped down. But then he done lost majority of his youth life in prison. So he done understand and appreciate life. And when the people paid him back by letting him being the first black leader of Africa, and and he still give up the power. But black leaders don't have me ever.
But you see, that's part of our challenge for succession. And that's why we cannot even speak to succession. Why? Because we feel that once I'm in office, that's an infinite term. It could go on for the next 50, 60 years, whatever. That's part of our challenge. We have to be able to know, like an old African proverb says, even the best dancer must know when to come off the stage. Even the best dancer must know when to come off the stage. Don't believe that you would dance or you would perform at that same level forever and ever. There will be a time when you might have to say, okay, I will support. And only then, when you're able to do that, only then that your patriotic endurance can come out and become a real patriot for this country. Because it's only then you will be able to put the country above one, yourself, second, your party.
326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477. You know, in 2012, one would have thought that because you are the leader of the DNA, the Honorable Ronald McCartney at the time, you're the leader of the NDP, Honorable Randall Wells, deputy leader, Dr. Andre Rollins, you had Cassius Stewart, the leader of the BDM. One would have think that they was talented, knowledgeable, capable to create their own political organizations. Going against the norm as political infidels who just reach on the scene, and they were able to create
No,
their
don't call them
own
infidel. Let's call them political neophytes.
neophytes, then.
Let's call them
Right,
infidel. Neophytes.
Yes, I'd like to make a comment.
Go ahead, you're live.
Okay. When we consider the monumental loss that the epidemic experience has documented, does it really make sense for him to run again for leadership? I mean, what does that say to the Bahamian people when they've already indicated at the polls at the last election that he was not acceptable?
Yeah.
When we look at going forward, what do you have to choose from? You know, we're talking about all of those ministers that were in the FNL party as leaders. Where are they? Where's the voices? Where are they now? There's nobody that's standing to support Michael Pinter in the opposition. So, you know, this is just a waste of time.
Yeah, I mean, caller, you're right on the nail. I tell you that you said where there was former ministers who was a part of the administration, and you're right. And plenty of places now, we would take your time to really notice if you were a part of the administration, last administration, and you was a cabinet minister, some things that you can't speak on, not decisions that you were a part of, but you should have some knowledge about the ministry, and if you feel that the president ministry, but then, man, that people don't understand the magnitude of sweetness when you're a cabinet minister. You know, and I never forget this, I had the former Minister of Tourism on my show, the Honorable Dionisio Diago, before they win in 2017. I had on my show. You know what he said to me on my show? He said that if he win a seat and if he be given an opportunity to become a cabinet minister, he wouldn't stay there no longer than 3 years. And if he don't do what he think is the best decisions in tourism on the ministry that he's given, he will ask the prime minister to accept his resignation and he'll step down. He said it on my show. He stayed there till they get beat, and he run again, trying to win again. Man, that's sweet, that's bad. He stayed only 3 years. And he stayed the whole 4 years, and if they didn't stay 5 years, he made stay the whole 5 years, and still he run and get beat in the next election after that. So don't mind them, man. That's sweetness. You imagine, you get a car that has a plate, a blue plate, where you could go anywhere, park anywhere. You get free gas, you get free service, some of them get chauffeur, some of them get police escort. You know, and you making a decision in the country, you privy to all the big business that coming into the country. They looking at people who got power to assist them, and you in the thick of things to know the things first, to pick out the best of what is gonna come to the country. Man, that's no privilege and sweetness, man. What? 326.
Caller, you still there?
No, go on. 326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477, 322-5477. You made a statement when you said that. Go ahead.
You know, I'd like to make a comment, piggyback on something that caller said that's very important, and we are the voices. As fundamental as that question sounds, that's a prevailing question. Where are the voices? But most of us realize we're in a political environment that's not conducive for you to really be as vocal as you should. I strongly believe in 2024, we are still in a political environment where it's difficult for an MP to represent his constituents properly. In 2024, still believe that. Because if he or she does that, it would go against the grain from what cabinet may be thinking, and that person can become an outcast, even if that person is a cabinet minister.
Yeah, but you have members of parliament who ain't cabinet.
Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I hear you.
No, I said, even as an MP, and I said, even if you are a cabinet minister, you could be ostracized and be put out even of cabinet if you try to represent your constituents the way you should represent them.
So why what you're saying sounds good, right? Why isn't the opposition representing their constituent? Since they can't be ostracized if they're in cabinet, why they ain't doing it?
Listen, we are in a system, like probably any other system like this, where if you're in government and can't fix the roads in your constituency, you know how difficult it is to fix roads if you're in opposition in your constituency? You know how difficult that becomes? If you are a member of the governing party, even though you may be an MP, and if you can't fix the roads in your constituency, you know how difficult it is to fix that if you're in opposition?
No, I never been.
It ain't difficult.
No.
But it's more difficult if you're with the governing party in power.
I'll tell you this. I can show you some scenarios right now. The opposition right now, every single member, or you correct me, who's in opposition who win their seat, were in the government last time. They had plenty of time to fix the road. They were in government last administration. All men who win, no newcomer win their seat in the free national movement.
But you know what?
I'm trying to show you something.
No, hold on. Pause. Pause.
Because they didn't win because their ability, they win because their party.
No, listen. Pause. You asked the question, and I answered the question to you by saying it in this way, that the political environment that we operate in, it is difficult for any member of parliament, especially if you're with the governing party, to represent your constituency properly. Even if you're a minister in the government. If you want to say to the government that, hey, look, this is a bad bill, the roads needs to be fixed, this needs to happen, your own government will put you out of the cabinet. Your own government will put you out of the cabinet.
So if they couldn't do that when they was in power.
That's the question I posed to you.
Right, so if they
that's the question I posed to you.
That they couldn't do it then when they was in power. Now they out of power.
You can't do it.
So that means it can't never happen then.
No, I didn't say it can't never happen. I said if it didn't happen when you was in power. No, I said if it didn't happen when you was there in government, where you should be able to get on the phone and call the Minister of Works, even though you may be in health, and say the road needs to be fixed somewhere else. If you can't do that when you're in government, you can't do it when you're in opposition.
Well, Reverend Wells, when he was the Minister of Health, he fixed plenty road in Bambudan.
I didn't say it can't happen. I said in the political environment.
I know after them, but I'm telling you what happened. 326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477. The Honorable Reverend Wells, at the time he was the Minister of Health, and one time he was the Minister of Transport. He had plenty different roads fixed in the constituency.
But all I'm saying is,
I'm saying to you,
but that
it could be done.
I didn't say it can't be done. I'm saying to you, I didn't say it can't be done. All I'm saying to you is the system that we operate, government, the environment that we operate in, these are some of the things that happens. Now, if you believe they don't happen, that's fine. I say I believe it happens.
See, if you was a genuine person, you run into politics, right? And you had some genuine people who did run in politics in this country. And they meant well and they did well. You had George Markey, you had Loftus Roker, you had some good people.
And some of them got crushed along the way.
Yeah, crush man. I mean,
Yeah, because
say so, but I'm saying to you, if you genuine, right, and you did works before you get into politics, you did community service, you helped people before you win. You know, these people that they win, some of them have. Listen, they're a member of Parliament, and I always say this. He win his seat, right? While he was living in Idari and he was in Key. He don't live in the area where he win. Because he didn't win because of his ability. He didn't win because what he did for his country. He win because he was a part of the party that win the government. He was a part of the tidal wave. And he win his seat, right? And midway he changed and gone back to another body across the floor and gone on the next side. When he went to live in the area where he went, he living in the man powers and every key. That's trying to show you. So they ain't winning because they have the country at heart. Majority of them even because they have the country at heart and they did some things that the other Bahamians in this country can benefit from. They win because they're on the party that Bahamian people choose
to vote
for.
You know what I like in an MP?
Mm-hmm.
I like an MP to represent, and when I say my interest, the interest, because I'm a constituent, represent the interests of the constituents whom you represent. I know that's difficult. I know.
Not difficult. Not difficult.
Listen. I know, and I know you're gonna run me off your show. I know what you're singing for. That's difficult in the Bahamas.
No, sir.
It's still very difficult.
If you believe, and I can lay out a plan to show you the I can lay out a plan to prove to you the
Listen, I know you can say that. I'm saying to you is, any MP who truly wants to represent his constituents, it's not an easy road for him or her.
I can tell you, the new generation of leaders in this country have to change. Have to change the way politics is done in this country.
But that's all I'm saying. Now you're agreeing with me now. Now you're agreeing.
No, but I'm telling you, you say it can't do it. I didn't
say it can't. I said it's difficult to do.
But it ain't difficult.
But you agree. But I'm saying that you agree.
But if I put you there, right? If I put you there, how come you could come to my house?
Why would you say?
Why
would you say the new leaders have to embrace change in the way we do things here now?
You have to.
That's all I'm saying.
The way they run in this country, the way this country is run in the last 25 under the former prime minister. No.
You know,
15 under the former prime minister, Right Honorable Alexander Ingram. 10 under the former prime minister, Right Honorable Perry Christie. 5 under Dr. Minnis. The way they run this country.
I know.
Ain't no way in the world. They're not representing you.
That's the point I'm making. But you know what I like to listen to on this from this studio? I like to listen to Mr. Jones and Mr. Enos. And sometimes Mr. Zenas to say, man, you have to get it right. And Brother Jones to say, yeah, but Brother Enos, but you. And that's fine. And that's good. But we need to be careful too, that when we sit in these 8x10 rooms, and I said this before, people's political views are formed by some of the things we say.
Mm-hmm.
It is incumbent upon us to be true to the truth.
Mm-hmm.
Because what we say, we don't know how it impacts how they hear that.
Yeah, but we need the impact, give them the information.
They don't need it.
They need the information. Because you don't want the Bahamian people.
Did you hear what I say?
To prove Albert Einstein right.
Did you hear what I say? You have to be true to the truth.
To the truth.
True to the truth. Because when we say something, how it impacts them may have a devastating effect that we may have difficulty to change later. So let's be true to the truth. There you go.
But I tell you this, the plan my plan I started talk politics from 1998. I started talk politics was that if you representing a constituency, you're not supposed to go in the house assembly and vote what your party want or vote what you want. But they don't know. Listen, they don't even come back to you and ask you what's the view. So we having a constituency meeting every Thursday in the month. I will bring all the bills that's before the house and you all will be able to take a vote for all who attend, and I'll carry that vote out 70. They don't do that.
Fine.
They carry their vote with their family or they self or their friends or their party.
But
They don't never come.
but now
Then
you-
when they become Jesus, they know everything. After election 6 o'clock, they become Jesus. They know everything. They don't
but-
carry a view.
Yeah, but-
Listen to me. When Patelco's being sold, right? Playing to stand up and talk more nonsense, right? 51 and 49 is the same thing. It's more than one says more than one way to spin a cat. One say he won't watch Law and Order on the beach, that's why he's supporting it. He ain't never say he's supporting the constituents. And when the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, told them, go in your constituency and garner the support and come back with the view of your constituent. The first person who tried to do it, I think it was Carl Benton, and the people, what? Everybody started saying no before they start talking. And he still going to vote yes. They still going to vote 70 vote yes. So they really, and the rest, I think Charles Maynard tried to, and he was the only two who tried. And the people was resoundingly telling, no, we ain't want to sell, you don't own, but you don't sell it. And they still going to vote yes.
But
I think we should be. Save that thought and come back. This is Primetime and Independent. I think we'll take a final commercial break. Let me come back. We'll continue the conversation with my special guest, Mr. Nolan Johnson, after the break.
Cancer. It's a word no one wants to hear. But at Cancer Treatment Centers of America, we hear it every day. It's a word we've dedicated our lives to overcoming by changing the way patients are treated. And now we're part of City of Hope, which is one of the nation's top 10 cancer hospitals. Together, we'll combine leading-edge clinical research with precision cancer treatment, so we can be there when you need us most. So when you hear the word cancer, there's another word that should come to mind. Hope. Call now.
So this is Primetime and Independent. I think my name is Marlon Owen Johnson. In studio, my good friend, mentor, Mr. Nolan Johnson. We're talking politics. We're talking, what's happening in the political world in this country. Opposition is on the burner. They have elections going to be called June 1st. Convention is going to be called June 1st, where elections will be choosing a new leader or returning the present leader or returning the same chairman or a new chairman. And they're having a one-day convention, June 1st, as being named. And we just opining and giving us our opinion on some of the decisions, why that Bahamians can affect their decision. So what I feel that let the Bahamians know the truth. It appears that both governments refuse to implement and legalize, legislate the Freedom of Information Act. They refuse to implement local government in Nassau. I don't know why. Because if you were to implement local government, it appears that they fear they will lose control of the Bahamian people. Because if you have a mayor, if you have a governor, if you have persons who manage the affairs of constituency, the member of parliament who believe that representation is lifting up your baby when it's born, coming to a funeral, things like that. That's not representation. Representation is creating a avenue and assistance to persons who, some people don't need money all the time. People just need guidance. Some people just need help. Some people just need assistance. The bureaucracy for years in government is relentless. It's so hard to get some things done. And it's feeling it's a waste of time. But you being a member of parliament, having a constituency office, being paid $125,000 every year, not your salary, that's the money for your constituency. And you sit down in the constituency office in the open. I don't understand what's happening in this country. how you could announce that you ain't really disclose by the legal requirement time of March 1st or 31st, and you announce that you already declare it. I mean, what kind of country is this? They gotta be joking. And we just allow it to happen. That's why we end up with the members of parliament. We end up with, because the things that we allow to happen, and we sit by idly do nothing. And then we expect, when we see fighting in the school, that, you know, oh, there's a kind of people, oh man, we creating these monsters.
You know, I strongly believe that self-discipline is the key. And any government that truly wants to govern effectively should not allow serious actions to go like, well, those actions seem to be dealt with some immunity. Nothing will happen. Because once you continue to allow that to happen, that becomes the order of the day. You know, you speak to Freedom of Information Act, and let me throw it out like this. Not that this is the way it is, but let me throw it out there like this. Today I'm in opposition, and I say to you who's in government, that's needed. You never do it, even though you give consideration that, yes, that's good and it should be done. And the government change, I becomes now in the chair, and the same bill that I want you to pass, upon careful scrutiny of that bill and structuring of the act for that bill, I find I say, hold on, wait now, I may have to disclose some things I really don't want to disclose. So it never happened. I didn't say that's what happened. I'm speaking hyperbole.
326-8255, 326-8255, 322-5477, 322-5477. Listen to me. See, they feel that if they give the baby Freedom of Information Act, that'll be the last control and grip that they will lose on the baby. Trust me. The Free National Movement leave a whole retired judge with a desk without even a computer, talking about freedom with the implementation of freedom. I know, man, with a whole desk without even a computer. I mean, they're just clowning. So they can't even open their mouth right now and tell the PLP, oh, we need freedom. They can't do it. So, because they was in power for 4 years. So you agree? They promised it on the campaign trail, and they still ain't doing it.
Are you agreeing with me when I say it the way I said it? Are you agreeing with me? That if I'm the government, or I'm the opposition, you're the government, and I'm saying this is what should be done, we need this Freedom of Information Act, you didn't do it, now I become the government, and when I start to look and see what all this bill entails, I say, you know what, I have to now disclose some things I don't think I should be able, that I would want to disclose, so nothing gets done. So what I'm saying is, in the meantime, no.
See, the baby people need to change. See,
but
we get the bad treatment, Mr. Johnson.
Precisely the point I'm making.
Right.
Precisely the point I'm making. All I'm saying is, until we have a new political narrative on how we do business, ain't too much of this stuff is going to change. And you know what? There is no change without some degree of sacrifice and pain. We may not fully come to the point where we need to change until we really feel some pain. That's the human people. Until we really feel this pain yet. To ask me what this pain, or what that pain may be, I can't say. But I'm just speaking the cycle of how some things should go. Not until you get enough pain, you said, I had enough pain. Time for a change.
I gotta play a sound bite, right, to show you the hypocrisy, to show you the hypocrisy that is in this country's ranking. I'm gonna play a sound bite by the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Alexander Minnis. He was in the House Assembly saying some very, very important things, I must say. That he was saying some very important things. And I must play the sound bite so I can piggyback the listening audience and show you the narrative, the level of hypocrisy in this country, especially by the politicians in this country. Producer, play that sound bite. With the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis in the House Assembly. I think it's today or yesterday. Play the sound bite.
Listen, and then I'll tell you where to find it, because you haven't read your bill. Add to insult to injury, BPL will be allowed to transfer their assets to these companies. So, the equipment and the land that the Bahamian people now own will be transferred to private companies that will be incorporated for the sole purpose of making profits. This is troubling, and there are huge problems. The problems, let's look at the problems. The bill does not say that the Bahamian government will own a minimum share of the private company. Problems. Read the bill. Just how you spoke, I knew you didn't read the bill. You didn't read. It's your bill. At the end. Anyhow, I can't leave me off. Run out of time. It does not say that the Bahamian government will own a minimum share of the private companies. So it is possible, listen to me now, it is possible that BPL can transfer hundreds of millions of dollars of its property and land, and the Bahamian government could possibly end up owning as little as 1%. You did not read. There are no safeguards in the bills to protect the patrimony of Bahamian people. Other problem, the bill only permits BPL to transfer its assets to private companies. It does not permit the transfer of liabilities. That's like giving your car to someone else free of charge and still having to pay the bank loan for it. So, BPL is going to be stripped of its assets, but the Bahamian people will be left to pay the bill that BPL owes. Madam Speaker, you can withdraw this if you choose, but that is criminal.
That sound by you heard was the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Minnis. And to show you where today is your day, the old saying from the Great Lakes of Linden Pilgrim, today is your day and tomorrow is mine. And the former Prime Minister, Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, used to say, what comes around goes around. And to show you the level of hypocrisy in this country, I heard him just now. You know what he said? And I ain't quoting him, but I refer to some of the things he said. He said that it's troubling what this administration is planning to do with BPL. He said the transfer of asset, all the asset of Patelco. I was on Bay Street protesting the 49 and 51% sale of BPL. All that land and all those keys and lands and islands and in Nassau, the buildings and stuff. That Patelco BDC are going on. And you hear what he say? Transfer of land and property. What about the optic fiber cable that was paid $100 million to run to West Palm Beach? $60 million to run to Haiti. Right? And he said that the Bahamian people will leave to pay the bill. And the former Prime Minister could open his mouth and say that. Ben, he was right there part of the cabinet in 2012 when Bahamian people end up with the liabilities that he talking about now with the pension fund of Patago. The treasury, the Bahamian people end up with the liabilities or the pension fund for Patago. So the same thing he highlighted. He sat in cabinet in 2012. I was a part of the movement. So the same thing he talking about now, because he believes you forget or you gotta be stupid. The same thing I gave you it. He talked about the land and the property transfer. What happened to all the land and the optic fiber cable that run to Haiti would cost maybe over $60 million. The one would run from Nassau to Freeport to West Palm Beach would cost maybe over $100 million. Eh? So what are you talking about? You know, but the Bahamian people gotta pay the bill. We paying the bill now from Telco. He was a part of this. He was a part of the F&M administration when they transfer the pension liabilities on the Bahamian people and the treasury. Me and you gotta pay tax to pay the liabilities for the pension fund. Cause they believe you stupid. You're supposed to forget that. Don't worry about that. Just listen to what I say to you now. Right. And that makes sense. Right. He said he's talking about transfer of land. Man, he was a part of the last administration. When he was a part of privy to a lease for 150 years. We had nobody live 150 years since Methuselah. We had no one live 150 years that is recorded. I never hear someone live 150 years. So why would he agree to tie the Bahamian, these same people who he claims he fighting and rowing for? Why he want to tie the Bahamian people with the cruise line on Paradise Island for 150 years? Longer than his lifespan, my lifespan, a lot of people's lifespan. I don't know nobody live 150 years yet. So it's the same thing. So the same thing that he claiming, it's the same thing he was a part of a few years ago. Why is water and sewage buying water from a Cayman Island company called Consolidated Water? Why? Water and sewage provide water for the Bahamian people for years. When I told them from Andres, they have well fields off Michael is to pump water from. Why are we buying water from a foreign company? He was a part of the F&M administration that did that. Prince George Dock. You go on Prince George Dock. I've been out there today. Go on Prince George Dock and you look and see what all was done. Cosmetic. They pretty up, put on big monument out there with this white thing. They put that out there. They change the surface on the docks and they add on an extension. Few pairs, and over what? Almost $500 million they raised. They end up with a dock to manage it and raise the money when it was oversubscribed. So I mean, what are you talking about? Why would he mention this? He's supposed to let somebody else do that. He was let someone who was in a part of the cabinet do that. He was a part of 326-8255. 326-8255. You get 10 more minutes to go. 322-5477 to show you the level of hypocrisy. And you made a statement, you say, you don't know what I'm singing for. I ain't singing for nothing. But I see Marlon Owen Johnson, I tell you this, right? I live my life like this. When I die, I ain't carrying nothing. That's why I help so much people today. Plenty people could call this show, who would call your phone or call the station or whatever and say that Marlon Johnson helped me. And they even don't know my full name, I don't know his full name. Why? Because when I die, I ain't carrying nothing. So much people I can make happy or help or make their life a little better, I do that. So I ain't gonna sing for nothing. I run 5 companies of my own, I built from scratch, never see my daddy my entire life. So I ain't gonna sing for that, Mr. Johnson. Primetime in the better nigga. Primetime, go ahead.
Hey, what's happening, man?
You're live.
I want to ask you a question. What do you think would happen if Michael Dundat win the race for leadership and Richard Johnson win the race for chairman? How do you think that?
Well, so Richard Johnson is being nominated?
I think he will be nominated tomorrow.
Oh, I will, honestly, if it happened, you see, I'm not in the F&M business, right? But the Gather News Network has it. They don't really put out the scores, but I don't want to call them too early because people don't vote for these people. But the Gather News Network stated that he wouldn't even get 25% of the vote. Richard Johnson. And Richard Johnson, my friend.
I was wondering what will happen in that case, you know.
If that happened, then Richard Johnson will have to fall in line and made to understand the mantra of the party and go along with the program if you want to be a part of it, because that's how the system goes. But I don't believe that will ever in this lifetime happen. Not for what he done gone through in the last couple of months. So that ain't happen.
Oh, you don't never say never.
Now you're right. You're 100% correct, but I can't see that.
I totally agree with everything you say. I totally agree with everything you say tonight. Keep it up, man. I listen.
Thank you. No problem. Thank you, caller. Right now, in the middle thing up.
Hi. What I want to say for my observation about politics in the Bahamas, I've come to the conclusion that all is fair in love and war, and politics, the best man wins, and it's like in the army, if they don't ask, don't tell, and we're just one big happy family, but we go on stage pretending to be opponents, but we're all in this thing together, so it's just a big game, the best man wins, and we're just there drinking berries at the end of the day. Nobody's really serious about the Bahamian public or the country.
Well, I hear you call, and I don't support that last part when you say the best man win. The best man don't usually win. Because I'll tell you this. The former two prime ministers, the former two law partners, they are former two, and they just say in the clause, they are two former law partners. They own the law firm called Delboy House. They put 3 or 4 most talented politicians of today's day who was capable of forming their own party in the name of Ronald McCartney, who ran for the DNA. They put Renwood Wells up there. They put Cassius Stewart up there. They put them in one area to make sure that only one person could win. You can have 2 MP in one area, right? To cut down 2 of them, or the 3, right there, right? They cut down 2 or 3. They intentionally delivered. You think if they was worrying about passing the baton on to the new generation, they would have given Cassius Stewart, because Cassius Stewart being in the wilderness for plenty time, handcuffed himself to the Mason organic. Listen to me. Cassius Stewart offered solution for this country time repeatedly. Sensible solution he offered all over this country. Cassius Stewart, like him or hate him, he offered sensible, reasonable solution to some of the problems that this country faces. Renwood Wells was talented enough to create his own party, get it started. Ronald McCartney was talented and brilliant enough to get his party started. Where Andre Rowland, you could go, and what they did, they created a pot to limit the amount of that talent that come from that pool of people. A fella like me, I would have put Renwood Wells someplace where he could win his seat, and a safe PLPC. I'd have put Cassius Stewart in a place where he could have been maybe, St. Anne's or something. I'd allow Branwell to be, maybe you don't challenge Branwell. Because these positions, even if they're not a party, at least they'll cause you to think or cause you to offer sensible and reasonable suggestions or plans towards, they have builders come down, man. They ain't that. That's why the Freedom of Information Act was not implemented. That's why local government in this country, it'll be in the days of the young people coming up, like Christian Jones, they got to bring Freedom of Information Act. Hey, man, that's really serious, man. Mr. Johnson,
hey,
what say you? We just almost flat all the time.
Yeah,
what would you say?
Yeah, man.
Give your say before I wrap up.
Yeah, personally, I think that, and I've said this before on the show, that God endowed everybody with gifts and talents. If you want progress as an entity, then you're trying to use all the gifts and talents that you have within your organization. When you do that, the organization has a great chance of achieving exceeding expectations. When you don't do it, then you fall by the wayside. Whenever we decide that we would like to do or create a new political narrative within this country, it'd be then and only then that we would see the kind of political change that's necessary for growth in this country.
When you, in my humble opinion, I feel that when you really truly want to empower Bahamians, you really like the Bahamian people, and you really want to see the empowerment of Bahamians in this country, you'll never give a rich person who lives in Life Key $60 million or 54, 56, 58, whatever the amount is. You'll never give them 58, $60 million to buy conflict for black people over here where they don't come. You'll never do that. You'll create a local government and put the money on the account in each constituency, and let it be managed by those who live where the constituency who they are. Why you'll change the legislation that allow a man who living in Liverpool, ma and pa a house to run inside on Old Hill constituency, where he don't live, never grow up there, but because the party put him there. You will change legislation to that effect to prevent things like that, where you could live in Liverpool and run in the Grove, right? When you can't vote in the constituency if you ain't been there for 6 months, but you ain't got to live there at all to run the whole constituency. You're backward in this country. They ain't serious.
You know, in saying what you were saying is that I'm not a great advocate for socialist entitlements just like that.
What you mean with the 60 million for conflict?
I say socialists. Socialists but I am still troubled by, after 50 plus years of black governance in this country, we still can't find a way to create an economic environment that is conducive for the economic growth of black Bahamians in this country.
Man, they love me to do this, and that's a great point to end the show with, and I love that. Let me tell you why. I sit right here, right, in this country for years, and I watch all the majority, all the black businesses die on Bay Street. What was the economic hub for this country for years? Tourism. And the Pink Pussy Cat, the Cat and Fiddle, the Drum Beat, the Painted Tailor, King and Nat, out, they had businesses, and no one, no politician I can remember, they might do it behind the scenes, or might do it now, I remember, but I say this now, said that we have to create or use the Bahamas Development Bank or use the Bank of the Bahamas to fund these and bail these people out. I'll tell you this, you got another song before we end the show, you want to play another song by producer? You can play another song by the former Prime Minister right on, Hugh Alexander Minister with $2 billion. Play that one before we end the show. I'll talk about it next week when I come back. Play that.
Subsequently came out and gave bailouts to certain segments.
Yeah.
We felt that we had to maintain the quality of life within the band. We could not introduce this additional stress and decrease in quality. So we had to do a similar thing. We had to do a bailout for the Bahamas. We never spoke about it in that term, but we did a bailout for the Bahamas well in excess of $1.3 billion.
Explain to us how you did that.
I will explain that. $1.3 billion bailout to the Bahamian people to ensure that nobody's quality of life would have decreased and to ensure that they would have been safe and saved lives. Now, how did we do that? We maintained all those individuals at Bahamas Air and public servants. That in itself, in terms of employment, in 2019, 2020, that in itself would have been over $650 million that the government would have been paying out to individuals in spite of them not working. Mm-hmm. At the same time, you did that the following year. Then we introduced, we made sure that individuals got unemployment benefits. That was an additional $115 million. Then we paid an additional $53 million to businesses to ensure that they maintain the employment of those individuals, kept their people employed.
Right now, I need to hear no more of that, man. I need to hear $53 million to Bahamian businesses. How they choose these businesses. I got 5 different business companies, and not one was a part of the $53 million. Right. Talking food. And then listen to me. We got to change this country, bro. We got plenty of work to do. And I used a fellow whining down off the radio, you know. I whining down, I'm tired, man. I've been here 14 years. I whining down. Because some other people need to grab the mic and carry on. I'll tell you why. I do plenty of research. It's cost me money. It has cost me time. I do plenty of research to bring the people the facts and the truth. If they keep on doing the same thing over and over, somebody else need to come and sit down and they may listen to them.
The results
they may cost. Huh?
The results won't change. If they keep doing the same thing over and over, the results won't change.
Well, they expect to change.
Some things have to be done differently.
Listen. You can't find one. Well, I'll put a question up to the people. The next show next week, Thursday, God willing, see if someone could call in and say one Bahamian who received 10,000 acres of land like the I group in Big One Bahamian. Just give me, I don't care if it's a rich white Bahamian from Livet Key or from Albany, or once he's a Bahamian. I don't know paper Bahamian, I don't want a Bahamian who born here. He received 10,000, if he received 10,000, he called me next week, Thursday, and listen, we just sit by and we allow these things to happen, right? And the whole of Bimini, the Bimini Resort, if you all see all the land that was caught up in that, I don't understand, and Freeport, the Ginn project, I mean, just sit by like everybody's scared to tell the truth and they don't want to offend this one. I mean, when we die, we can, and I don't understand what it is. They hawking up all this money and all this land, and when they die, they cheering to waste it. They cheering to squander it because they ain't work hard for it. They ain't sweat for it. And we just sit by and we fail to do something. And the old saying, I'll end with this old saying, it's after 9, right? I'll end with this old saying, it's 9:02. I'll end with this old saying. Evil prevail when good men stand by idly and does nothing. Good night, Bahamas.